Welcome in to Reading Between the Wines. It's Wine Down Wednesday, Wine Wednesday. Go ahead and get your glasses, get your bottles, whatever you got. Come on into Reading Between the Wines and wine down with me. Make sure I got this right because you know how sometimes I get with the names. We have Jolly coming in tonight. Jolly Doty coming in tonight, and she is going to be talking about her book, The Last Savior. It is Wednesday, July 20th, and I am sipping on. Now, you want to talk about names. Make sure I get this one right. So now I'm better with showing you exactly what the bottle is. So I realize that I have to push this bottle up close to the camera because I'm going to say for months, I had it all wrong. I was talking and nobody could even see what the hell I was drinking. So apparently I had to bring it real close so that y'all can get it this way. So now I got to get this name right. I'm sipping on Dr. Beckerman's Rheinhessen Lieberfilmich wine. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Lieberfilmich. And if I said it wrong, it is what it is. It's a German name, and I practiced it enough, and it is what it is. I had a couple sips already, and I know I'm going to mess it up. Dr. Beckerman's Lieberfilmich. Undoubtedly, the most popular German wine in the world. Lieberfilmich, with its renowned bouquet and taste, reflects perfectly all the charm and character of Germany's Rhine wines. Served chilled, it is perfect accompaniment to any light meal or makes a great drink on its own. And we are talking about 9.5% tonight. So we will see what happens as we continue to flow through this show here. If you are on Facebook, I want to say what's up. Thank you for all of the love and support that's out there. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Laren Gaines. Please check me out, subscribe. Check me out on TikTok as well, DLive, Twitch, and Daily Motion. So we're going to get right on into it. Song of the day. Sometimes you just need to breathe. Just need to breathe and let Angie, let Mary, let India take us away. Off of the Up Close and Personal album released in 2001, I want to say, give a very special shout out to Miss Angie Martinez. She's been doing her thing, radio personality, rapper, the whole nine, but I don't believe that Miss Angie got the respect that she needed off of this album or her second album, Animal House. Angie Martinez is real dope, and she's a friend of the Queen of Hip Hop Soul, and I like Angie, so I don't know, Up Close and Personal, I used to bump that a lot, not because of Mary is on there, of course, that's one of the reasons why I got it, but she had the one with Jay-Z on there and Fat Joe and all of them, so sometimes you just need to breathe and get away, and if you can't get away, it's songs like this that will empower you and give you that oomph to say, okay, if I can't get away now, I'm going to make plans to make sure that I get away, and when I get away, I just want to do it now, and I just want to walk into the sun, and I just want to get all of that me time together. Breathe, Angie Martinez, featuring my girl, the one and only Queen of Hip Hop Soul, Miss Mary J. Blige and India, off of the Up Close and Personal album released in 2001, and if you didn't hear this record, you probably need to check it out. I just love it. Now, I want to say, if you have not watched the replay from last night, please go ahead and do so. A real powerful show. Queen Dawn Spirit came in, and she always drops so many gems and gives me what I need. I don't know about you, but check out that replay and maybe, you'll get something out of it. I know I did. I love Queen Dawn Spirit. She's been a friend of mine since 2020 and continues to show love, and I continue to show love to her. And Yeah, check out Queen Dawn Spirit. I'm sure she has something for you, just like she had for me. My friend Mr. Alex Coquito, all the way from Puerto Rico. My friend Alex, he has a show called Midnight Vibes, and I am his co host. We try to get out there every Saturday at midnight on his YouTube channel. You can check him out at Alex Coquito. Will Serve. He was out there chatting with Queen Dawn Spirit last night, and yeah, we had some great conversations. And also, my boy Nate Perry came through as well from Brooklyn, New York. Danny from My Survivor Voice podcast, y'all, please go ahead and check out her podcast. You want to talk about some inspirational survivor stories, some real life stuff, like people who've really been through some things. Like, I want to tell you, last year when Danny came, it was one of the most powerful shows that I had because I learned about my guests as they come on air. Nothing is scripted. We just go through this, and I learn just like each and every one of you out there learn. And the stories that she told me were just unbelievable. I would say there's 2 times where I've been completely shocked on this show. And when Danny came on was one of them. Check her out. Mr. Farrell Higginbotham, Trenton, New Jersey. Leah Abraham, all the way from New Mexico. West Virginia, The Uncommon Place. The podcast. Thank you all for joining as well. Jerry Silva, photographer, all the way from, I believe you are from Phoenix, Arizona. Miss SOS, thank you. That's Queen Dawn Spirit's cousin, friend of the show, and definitely has been supporting me since day one. I want to say thank you for coming through as well. Infused with Booze, aka they used to be called Lushies. You want to get you some, I believe it's, make sure I got this right. It's desserts that are infused with booze, all the way from Newark, New Jersey, I believe. Miss Seduction Spot. So if you want to go ahead and get your adulting on, check out Miss Seduction Spot on Instagram, and you can get everything that you need. This is a real deep one. I think I'm gonna just really have to just keep it real, because there's no other way to do it except keep it real. What would you protect first? Your children or your marriage? This is a very tough one because I get the people who want to protect their marriage. You want to protect your marriage to try to keep everything whole, especially if the mom and the dad are together and they both, have the same children together, and it's their children that they have produced together. I can understand why you would want to hold tight to that and protect that, because that's the unit, that's the foundation. So people who say protect my marriage, I know that some people will go hard for their husbands or wives, and they'll put their children in place and say, no, don't speak to my husband that way, don't speak to my wife, which essentially is their mother or father. But I get that. They go hard for the marriage. Cool, I got that. But for those of you out there who this is your second time around and this is your third time around, and we got some stepchildren involved, are you protecting your marriage or are you protecting your children? I know what I come from. I know what I grew up in. And I know what I have actually produced myself as well. And I know what I've been in. And at the end of the day, and this is just my opinion, and yeah, you can have your own opinion. I'm rocking with my children first. I'm sorry. Like, I'm rocking with my children first, especially if they're real little children, innocent children. When you get some teenage situations going on, or you get some adults, then the waters can be a little muddy. Children start feeling themselves, they might start back talking, they might start doing whatever, and it might not necessarily be your significant other or your spouse's fault. But if we talking about some children, keyword children, and I didn't say teens or I didn't say adults, I gotta rock with my children, because people flip up and they change. And I've had people come on this show that have been upset at their parents or parent for choosing a man or a woman over them. And it is not a good feeling at all. So, at the end of the day, what would you protect first? Your children or your marriage? And it's subjective. It really is subjective. It can be on so many different levels depending on what your situation is. But during this, when you're going through a battle, Could be some rejection. And the question that I have for each and every one of you out there is, what does this look like when you are experiencing life? Because this is life. Rejection is a part of life. How do you handle it? Now, I can sit here just so clean and cool and be like, oh, I handle rejection very well. I'll tell you that I do handle rejection well today, but not at first. At first, I get a little bit in my feelings like, okay, why? How did this happen? All right. This is how we doing it. This is how you treating me. This is what we doing. I go back and forth. What did I do wrong? Did I not do this? Did I not do that? How could this happen? Why? Me? The whole thing. Then after a while, I sit back and I get with self. See, there's a power with getting with self. I sit back and I get with self and I say, wow, you don't know what you are missing. You don't know what you just gave up. You don't know what you were putting down because somebody else is going to pick up. That's what I say to myself. And then I look at the whole situation and then I come to a realization and I'm like, thank you. Because this rejection is a part of life. This is part of the process. Everything is not going to go the way that Laren wants it to go. And trust, there's been plenty of times where things didn't go the way that I wanted them to go. And that's done for a reason. Thank goodness that it didn't go the way that I wanted to go because I'd be in some trouble. You ever want something so bad or want somebody so bad, and then all of a sudden you look back at the situation after you've come out of it, and then you be like, damn, what the hell was I thinking? Like, that person was this or that. And they were lucky when I was loving them, or they were lucky when I was trying to, you know what I'm saying? And they're the ones that just missed up on the opportunity because I woke up and now I'm able to see. So when it comes to rejection, what does this look like when you're experiencing and you're going through your life experiences? Because we all go through some sort of rejection. One thing that I would say is get with self. Get with self and realize that at the end of the day, some of these rejections and some of these breakdowns and some of these shakeups, they are all designed to protect us. To protect us and keep us on track. Because if we got every single thing that we wanted, I think we'd be in a bad situation. I know I would be. Because some of the things that I wanted, and even to this day, it may not always be good for me. Let's see what our special guest got going on tonight.
Hello?
Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading Between the Wines.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
So how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm sipping on some German wine now. I don't know if I'm going to continue to say the name right as I continue to drink tonight. But the wine is, make sure, I always got to pause because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Lieberfilmich. Have you ever heard of that before?
Lieberverm? Okay, Lieberverm, bitch.
Now, do you know what it just sounded like you just said?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of confusing.
Can I tell you what it sounded like you just called this wine?
What?
It sounded like you just said, leave the room, bitch. But the wine is called Lieberfilmich.
Liebervermich.
Yes.
Okay.
It's from German, whatever. I don't know what it is, but I like to leave the room, bitch. I like that. That's not what you said, but it sounded like it, but I like that.
Yeah, I got
Hmm.
you.
Okay, so where are you calling from tonight?
Los Angeles, California.
That's what's up. Callie in the house. What's your weather like over there tonight?
Humid and hot.
Same here. We have a heat wave going on here. I walked outside today and it was like 100 degrees. I was shocked. Real shocked.
Yeah.
Because typically we do 90s, but it hit about 100 today. I'm in New Jersey.
Oh wow.
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh wow.
I take it that you don't like the hot weather. You don't sound too enthused about it.
Well, that one is like it's like hot and like muggy weather, you know.
I love it because guess what? It's not going to stay forever, you know.
Well, yeah.
So enjoy it while it's here, you know, because next thing you know, we're gonna be dealing with winter. At least that's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it.
All right, so you got a book out. You have two books, I believe, and the book you have is The Last Savior.
Yeah.
Now this is book one. Now is book two out or?
Oh no, book 2 and 3 are not out yet.
Okay, so we got The Last Savior. When did you release this book?
I released this in 2018.
Okay, and what is the concept of it? You want to give us a brief overview, the synopsis of the book?
Oh yeah, the concept is that what would happen if Jesus Christ came back to the modern world?
I don't know. I don't think he'd be too pleased with what's going on in this world today.
Well, I take a look at who Jesus Christ was outside of the Bible, and that's always been a curious subject with me, because some people are saying oh, Jesus is going to come back to the world, and save all of us and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Well, I look at him from a humanitarian side, of a philosopher side.
Mm-hmm.
A philanthropist side, and it's just basically this is a person that's had to make adjustments for the modern age, because whereas before he only journeyed around Israel, but now he's journeying around worldwide and stuff,
Mm-hmm. So you basically are writing this as it's happening in modern world. So you have any, different characters that are going through this and experiencing it?
No, I mean, I think that this is a pulp novel, because our hero meets people along the way, and some of them are brought into his inner circle and stuff, and actually book 2 actually changed the perspective, by telling the story through the perspective of somebody in his inner circle.
So, how did you come up with this concept? What made you want to? Are you a spiritual person, spiritual being? Were you?
Well, I've always considered myself a spiritual being, and it's just I look at this person called Jesus Christ as this person, who did some really good things while he was on this planet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's I always wondered, what would happen if he came back to the modern age, and would he save our souls again,
So, can you give us a little teaser behind what happened, or do we need to actually take a look at the book to see?
Well, I'm the perspective.
Because I'm
I'm sorry, what?
Because I'm real curious now to see, how this whole process came back and what happened and the interactions.
Well, okay, it's I, along with my partner Parry Adley, we did this from a perspective of a hero's journey, because in book 3, just basically it's the perspective changes from his best friend, his confidant, his person who would do anything to save him, because he sees the potential in the modern Jesus to save humanity from itself. Yeah, because I do in the me and my partner did this from the form of a pulp novel, because you have your hero who's born into the reality of the post-apocalyptic future, and he starts his journey as a kid. It's just we see this person who's just a human being, who's trying to figure out where he fits into like this crazy world, you know, all the while discovering things about himself along the way.
What were some things that he discovered?
It's the fact that he has like the power of like telekinesis, telepathy,
Do you think
like psychic abilities.
so? I was told that a lot of us have that capability. Do you believe that to be true? The same capabilities?
I don't know. I think it's just like one of the things where it's like a radio, so you had to like find that proverbial dial, like brainwave frequency, like to tune into, and it just like develop it, you know.
Have you personally experienced anything? Is that what inspired you to write this book?
Um, Not in the form of like telekinesis or like psychic abilities or anything like that. It was like a subject that, you know, like me and my partner like toyed with for like a very long time, and we were just like, why not like tell this in the form of like a pulp novel, like, you know, like give it like a real world like backdrop, and you know, it just, and like not just like tell it from like the hero's perspective, but like the perspective of like those like who are his friends, his allies, you know, who have like watched him grow up from like a little kid, you know.
Mm. So, can you name some of the characters in the book?
This is his best friend, Clement. He's kind of he's kind of like the redeemable, like you know, like I wouldn't say like villain. You know, he's just more like the person who's like put in like a really bad position, and he just like totally redeems himself on behalf of like his friend. You know, and you have like Therese, who's like his chronicler. You know, like the story changes to like to her perspective, like as she chronicles his journey across the world.
Mm. So that's two.
And you have
That's two. How many characters do we have that go along this journey?
There's Ilham, his mom. You know, who's his biggest staunch like supporter. You know, who tries to like encourage him, who tries to encourage like his abilities and stuff. Because like we deal with like a person who's like is just kind of like an imperfect human. You know, I mean, he's not godlike. You know, he's not like Messiah like. You know, he's just trying to be like, okay, you know, where do I fit into this weird world? You know. I mean, she's a kind, nurturing mother, you know, who like wants the best like for her kid. You know, it's just feel like she says like encourages him like this, like stop feeling like a freak about himself. You know.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Think about the whole story of Jesus. That is a tough story, and I know that a lot of people would not be able to handle it. Hey, what's going on? How are you? I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to handle it. And he experienced a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
And I spoke about rejection at the beginning, at the top of the show.
Yeah.
So when it comes to rejection yourself, how do you handle it? Is it something that you embrace? Do you fight it? Do you question it in the beginning?
Well, yeah, it's like important for myself, you know, it's just like, you know, it's like I know I'm not gonna please like everybody like out there, you know, and it's just like I take consolation that, you know, like the majority of people like, you know, like my book, you know, from like the reviews they've left on Amazon, you know. I mean, like, you know, what we're dealing with here is a person who's like rejecting themselves as to who they are at first. It's like ultimately, it's like as they grow up into like an adult, you know, they find like, you know, like they're accepting of themselves as to who they are, and like, you know, and they have like that circle of friends, they have that triumph of like over that of like adversity.
Yeah, I think it's very important that if someone does get rejected, I always say, and I talked about it earlier, that's just not for you. That's not for you. Understand that that's not for you for a reason. Like there is a level of protection I believe that all of us
Yeah.
have. And if something doesn't work for you, then that's cool. I think we need to embrace rejection. And I know it sounds so hard, but embrace it, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
the quicker that you embrace it, the quicker that you'll be able to get to the next level and level up with someone who
Yeah.
wants to, be in the company of you. Where we all fall,
Yeah.
where we slip into depression, we slip into doubt, we slip into fear, we slip into
Yeah.
all of these things that are all talked about in the Bible, is due to us
Yeah.
staying on a level that we don't belong. So,
Yeah.
in
I mean,
order,
you just explained like the whole concept of like like my story as well. That's like another concept I tackle.
yeah, it's like when we level up, we think of, the beauty behind moving to a next level. But there's
Yeah.
always pain before you get to the next level. So even though you are graduating, even though you are excelling to the next level, there's going to be a little pain. There's going to be some stinging behind it. And the people that you see today may not be the same people that you'll see tomorrow, next week, or next year. And it's just a part of it's a part of life.
Yeah.
I know it's terrible, but I guess we just got to get over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like some people have said, like that this is like my book was like uplifting. It's just like encourage people like just to like do better for themselves. Granted, it's like their current like circumstances might be like really debilitating and like really rejecting and everything. But that's like that time where it's like you gotta level up. It's just like fine. It's like presently you probably haven't found like your soul tribe yet, but who knows like for the future.
That's the second time that I've heard the term soul tribe in the last couple weeks. Do you feel that you found your soul tribe, or are you still searching? Or does it come?
Oh yeah.
Does it find you? Do you search for your soul tribe, or does your soul tribe find you?
I'd say it's like 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to a podcast, and this gentleman said that for so many years he felt alone and isolated. And
Yeah.
a lot of people who are authors, just basic artists in general, whether you do music, whether you write, whether you're an entertainer, there is a level of isolation. During the process of you creating this book, did you have to be isolated?
Yeah, at times, yes.
So, when it comes to isolation for you, how long does it last?
It's varied. Sometimes it's just like for like half an hour or like a whole day even.
Oh, no, you're half an hour, a whole day. Oh, no, I'm talking about isolated from where you almost feel like you're alone in this world.
I don't know. I've never been posited a question. It's just
Because, I mean,
I've never really felt isolated.
some people, they just don't. I'll say for myself, I feel like I don't fit into most situations. I feel like
Yeah.
when I walk into a room or I walk into a situation or circumstance, I feel like I just don't fit in with the. I don't care where it is. I don't fit in.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so therefore, there becomes a level of isolation where sometimes I feel comfortable, being alone.
Yeah.
And then when I don't want to be alone, then I'll go and be amongst other people. But um, I find joy sometimes being with self.
Yeah.
I know a lot of authors, they find joy with being with self and they sort of isolate. But you're saying yours doesn't last that long. You're talking about a couple hours and then you're good.
Yeah. Sometimes I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never been asked that question. But it's just like, long story short, I mean, it just kind of varies for me.
Okay, okay. I feel you on that one. So
Yeah.
now, the last savior, did he go to any, I guess, common places today? Does it take place in any common places? Like you're in LA, are we going to
Yeah.
hear stories of Jesus walking around, in New York, places like that.
Oh yeah,
What are some places that he travels to?
like Switzerland, Paris, Los Angeles.
Wow. Can you imagine? I don't know. This is very intriguing to me.
Okay.
It's just is. I just can't imagine it. But any other aspects of the book would you like to go ahead and give us a little teaser about it? Or did we do too much
Well,
tonight?
no, I don't think you did too much. Just basically, me and my partner wrote this book because it's just for the people who are just sick and tired of getting like the same old like stuff being sold to the media, like rehashed and whatnot.
Hmm. And now you talked about your partner too, which is how is it writing?
Yeah, her name is
How is it writing a book
yeah,
with
her name is
someone else?
Perry Adley.
Say it again one more time.
Yeah, her name was Perry Adley. Unfortunately, she passed away from cancer like a few years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So
Yeah.
now the pressure is on you even more to continue to keep this legacy going.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
I would say so. I mean, but you know what? She's always with you, though. You know that. So
Mm-hmm.
when you do go through your isolation period, you know that you will never be alone. Um, I'm so sorry to hear that, but what was it like? Let's talk about that. What was it like writing a book with someone else? Was it you both at the same location? There was a lot of phone calls, emails, sharing back and forth. How was that process?
Oh yeah, sharing back and forth, and like fortunately, we were both on the same location.
Oh,
You know,
you said unfortunately or fortunately?
fortunately.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. And how long did it take you to write the book?
Oh gosh, it was like an on-off process for like 8 years.
Oh, I see you take your time with it too. So you said 2018 you released this, and this is book one.
Mm-hmm.
So book two, what's the ETA as far as when that will be released?
It's just for like right now, I'm going through a publisher called Britain's Next Bestseller,
Hmm.
and it's like that whole thing about like book sales and whatnot, and
Hmm.
it's just basically I'm trying to get people like who like my book, like to please write them, say like okay, like where's the Last
Uh,
Savior book 2 and where's the Last Savior book 3,
hmm. Have you ever
Yeah,
thought?
so it's like the whole deal. I'm sorry, what?
I was going to say, have you ever thought of publishing?
Yeah, my book was previously self-published, but just long story short, I just even after so many years of doing this, I still don't understand it. I actually had like more like success like publishing my book, like they're like going through like a publisher and stuff.
Now, only thing with going through a publisher, sometimes it can take away your creativity and it can take away as far as the drive, the direction of which the project is going. Like the project can be driving in a direction that maybe you may not necessarily want to go down, but because
Yeah,
you tied to it and you signed a contract or whatever, you have to go and follow out the rules. So
yeah,
the only thing about that is um, taking away the creativity. Sometimes, sometimes they have a little input, but we won't do that because we won't say too much to get us in trouble tonight. But
yeah.
if you can go ahead and let everybody know where they can purchase the Last Savior, where they can follow you at on social media. I know you're on Instagram, or are you on any other
Yeah.
platforms?
Oh yeah, I'm on Facebook. You can actually find like my book page, The Last Savior Book One, on like Facebook.com.
Okay. What about any Twitter? How about that? No.
Yeah, I'm also on Twitter too. I'm on Twitter.com /Jaladoti.
Make sure you follow me on that, and then I'll go ahead and follow you back. I know a lot of authors
Okay.
are on Twitter as well, so they do pretty well on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I mean, like one time I actually opened up my Twitter account, and you're not gonna believe this when I tell you this, but like the author, like Patricia Cornwell, had started following me, so I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what happens with the book process and the author process on Twitter. So shout out to
Oh yeah, I
everybody.
mean, at first I thought it was fake, and I checked out like her account; it was like verified and everything. So I was like, yeah, awesome.
You said you thought it was fake. So now, do you partake in any wine? Are you drinking any wine tonight?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, do you partake in any wine? Are you drinking any wine tonight?
Not a big drinker, but but I'll check out your wine recommendations like down the line.
What? So you said you're not a big wine drinker.
Yeah.
If you can think of your favorite glass of wine, what would it be?
Just like a nice Merlot or something.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's real. That's real bold and deep. You like that dry?
Yeah.
You like dry wine?
Yeah. I mean, I like to go to like a winery and with like friends and stuff like that. Like once in a eon or so.
Speaking of wineries, since you're from LA, what's the closest winery near you? I know you got Napa Valley and all that. That's too far away, but
Oh yeah,
in your,
that's the closest one to me.
are you kidding me? There has got to be something close by.
No, no, I mean they're all out like in the valley. I'm in the city.
So from you where you're at to Napa Valley, how long does that take? 6 hours,
Oh
right?
my gosh. Um, yeah, it's more toward like Northern California, so we're talking about like major mileage here.
Yeah, it's a long ways. Yeah. I can't believe that they don't have any type of wineries anywhere in between. We all know what Napa Valley is, but nowhere in between in a small little. I'm sure there are. Um,
No, I mean there's like wine stores, but just like to go to like actual like wineries, we're talking like in the realm of like a few hundred miles from like I'm in like near like downtown LA.
hmm.
It's gonna like drive to like wine country. You're talking about like a few hundred miles, depending on like where you want to go.
So, what is downtown LA like nowadays?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just turned into like a total dump.
Wow, I've heard stories. I've heard stories.
I mean, I mean, I thought it was kind of sad. Before this, it's just like the whole like homeless issue like just got so bad and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it used to be like such a thriving like district of like fashion, jewelry, commerce.
It's a shame. Now, have you ever
Yeah.
been to Hollywood and Walk of Fame and all of that stuff?
I have, but just generally I try to stay away from that because it's kind of like touristy and stuff. I mean, that's where all like the tourists go and stuff.
That's not your vibe.
No, I mean, because basically, I mean, I generally like don't like to drive along like Hollywood Boulevard and stuff because like, oh my god, it's like so jammed, like all the time.
Have you seen any stars? I'm sure you have.
A few times, like one time I saw like Bono.
Okay. And just how was that experience? Were you in a car? You were walking? What was that like?
Oh, yeah, I was in a car. I was stuck in like clogged, like like Hollywood Boulevard traffic, and so I'm like walking on like the street, just like at night.
So now Hollywood Boulevard traffic. What's that like? Stuck in that.
Oh my god! That's where, like I said, it's like that's where like all the tourists go, and it's like it is just like so clogged there. It's like not even funny.
Well, I plan to experience it. I know it's a touristy area. I plan to experience that one day.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you ever want to see like the Hollywood Walk of Fame or like go to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, yeah, check that out. Check that out.
You know, I've done Ripley's Believe It or Not so many times. I've done it in Virginia. I've done it in Florida, and what I've learned is that they're all the same. I don't know if you. I don't know. I don't
It
know.
varies.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I've been to like the one in Florida and also like New York.
I mean, the way the outline is a little different, but I think the exhibits that are inside there are pretty much the same.
Yeah, it varies. It's just something to check out. There's kind of like a bunch of like novelty stuff like to do along Hollywood Boulevard. And there's also like a bunch of like tourist shops, with like autographs to like Marilyn Monroe and stuff like that.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for your insight on that. I'll have to take a look at that. Wasn't there something like? Oh no, never mind. That's going to be completely take us off track. We need to get we need to get into burning questions. So, but before we go ahead and do that, one more time, please let everyone know where they can follow you at and where they can get your book, The Last Savior.
All right. You're welcome to follow Jolly Doty on Facebook.com. You're welcome to go to like the Last Savior book one book page, or you can follow me on my account itself on Facebook.com. My book is actually available in multiple places. Major like book site retailers. It's also available through Britain's Next Bestseller.
Right.
You also can check my Twitter account at twitter.com/Jaladoti.
All right, we got Miss Jolly Doty in the building tonight. She has a book, The Last Savior, book 1. So we have 2 and 3 that'll be coming in the future. Now, is it going to stop at 3, or is this just something that's going to continue on? 3 books?
Oh yeah, 3 books.
Okay. Now, after book 3, do you plan to continue to write, or that's going to be the end and you're going to move on to do something different?
No, to answer your question, I actually have 2 books in the works.
Okay, so we got a whole bunch of different things coming. Now, the books that are coming up, is it going to be something similar, or is this taking it to a whole nother genre? We're doing something completely different.
The 2 books that I have in the works right now, it's different subjects. Yeah, but still on the realm of science fiction and fantasy.
Okay. Science fiction, fantasy. All right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when you get your releases out, you'll definitely have to come back on Reading Between the Wines. So how are you?
Okay.
How are you enjoying the experience so far?
I've been enjoying it. It's just it's had its ups and downs. My triumphs and tribulations. It's I'm good.
Good. It's life, Sometimes we are up. Sometimes we just want to crawl in a box and not even want to be bothered. It's life. I think when you express and you show that you're human and you go through situations and everything's not going to be all roses, that you come out better that way. I think when you put on a fake mask and you act like everything is all good when it's really not, you become unhappy. You start to get into a cycle that sometimes you feel that you can't get out of. So today, I just go along with it and I just say, listen, this is how I'm feeling today, and that's it. Hate it or love it, this is what you're going to get. I mean, I've been to places where I was in a pretending zone, and it's not good to pretend. You feel like you're stuck and you're trapped, and there's no way to live. Embrace it. Speak about it. Talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get through it and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
So now, we're getting ready to do Burning Questions. This is a segment of the show where I basically flip it and I put my guest in a hot seat. Now, before we do Burning Questions, I know we're sipping on Lieberful Mitch wine, and it's all right.
Okay.
It's all right. I mean, there's been some times where I have finished the glass. I'm babysitting this, so it's all right. I'm not sure if I would get it again, but it's all right. It's a German wine. Have you ever been
Okay.
Have you ever been out of the U.S. to Europe?
Yeah, I have.
What parts have you been to?
I've been to Germany and Italy.
Oh, nice. I've always wanted to go to Germany. We'll have to talk about it, that experience another time. We're getting ready to do burning questions. Putting my
Okay.
guests in a hot seat. So
Okay.
the burning question tonight is: what was the last topic of discussion that caused havoc in your circle of friends or family? So, was there any topic or
Hmm.
discussion that you recently had, or maybe had in the past that you can think of that was greater, that caused a bunch of havoc and really had you at odds with a couple people that you're really close with?
It was the whole overturning of like abortion, like the abortion
Ooh,
in debate.
oh yeah, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one, and I'm sure that that really
But
did cause some issues. That can
yeah,
cause issues on so. That's a real. I think that's like the ultimate one. I mean,
yeah,
for me, I could say politics is one thing that I try to stay away from,
hmm,
because that definitely tears up friendships and stuff like that. But the whole abortion thing, hmm, wow. I remember when I first started, 2020. I was doing burning questions, the same thing that we're doing right now, and I had wrote a question that talked about getting an abortion, yay or nay, how do you feel about it? And it was so deep that the person that was coming on reading between the lines, that's so funny, that's full circle, they refused to answer the
yeah,
question. They refused to answer the question, and I had to hurry up and quick change it right before we went live because they didn't want to participate in that type of conversation. So, with the recent events that go on, is it safe to say that this type of havoc or breakdown was most recent?
yeah. I mean, because like some members of my family like are conservative, and like some of them are like more liberal and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like for me, I've never been in that situation. But it's like I've known people in my life where it's like they needed, to get an abortion because it was like for health reasons.
Mm. I hear you. There's so many different reasons why somebody would want to do that. I mean, we can go ahead and list it and cause all kinds of controversy
Yeah.
tonight, but yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So, for those of you out there listening, what was the last topic of discussion that caused havoc in your circle of friends or family? And I hope that it just caused havoc for a little bit, because I've seen it where
Oh yeah.
people take these things very seriously and they
Yeah.
turn around and they break up. They're not friends anymore. They stop visiting family. I know fathers, mothers who don't talk to their children over politics, which I think that that's absolutely ridiculous. So,
Oh yeah.
even though that some of these things are outside of us, they're all outside of us. They're all opinions, they're all things that are outside of us. Try not to let that tear down the love that you have for somebody else, because it's very tragic when you can't see past your own way. And remember, a lot of these things, they're still going to exist, they're still going to continue whether you're here or not. Just think about it that way. If you think you can save it and you can stop it and you can change it, then do it now. Do it right now and let's stop the whole back and forth. Because whatever you got going on, whatever power you got going on, if it's that bad that you feel that you're not going to speak to somebody or you're going to cut somebody off, you got that much power, change it. Fix it now, and then the end of the story, and then we can move on. Now, if your little self, single little you, can't fix it and can't change it, then why would you decide to tear up and break up a friendship or family or something like that, or cut off somebody that's so important to you? That's just my thought on it. What's your opinion on
Oh,
it? Yeah, what's your opinion on it? You think you should just let it
oh,
go?
my abortion?
No, not no, not that. I don't want to get into that. No, just I was saying, if it's that bad and if it's that tough and you feel that passionate about it, then change it. And if you feel that single little old you can't change
Mm-hmm.
the situation, then just let it go. It's best that you don't tear
Oh,
up.
I agree.
Best that you don't tear up and cause havoc and confusion and discord among somebody that you feel close to. That's what I
Oh,
say.
totally agree.
Very good. All right, so we made it through reading between the wines. I want to say thank you so much for coming on, Jolly Doty, all the way from Los Angeles, California. We got a lot of people coming from California lately. It's so funny how this whole thing comes about. I'll be taking a trip to California very soon, and I didn't plan this. I think you were booked like months ago. It's so mystical. It's so supernatural how all of a sudden people that I speak to night after night, all of a sudden they're from California, which leads me to believe that this whole experience that we have going on is bigger than me. And this is none of my doing. So thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. And please come back when you have book 2 ready. And we most certainly can go through the whole process once again.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, you take care. You want to go ahead and let us know one more time where we can follow you at before you leave?
Oh, yeah, sure. Your audience is welcome to follow me at facebook.com/JalaDoty or facebook.com/The Last Savior Book 1.
Okay. Very good.
And twitter.com/JalaDoty.
All righty. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And you have a wonderful evening and enjoy that nice weather, that LA weather.
All right, thank you. You too.
All right. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
All right, everybody. There you have it. Miss Jolly Doty, all the way from Los Angeles, California, here on the 411. Reading between the wines. I had a little bit. So easy to say 411 podcast, reading between the wines. So if you are on Facebook, I want to say what's up. Instagram, I saw a couple people popping in and out. Simply Unique LLC came back. We got to get you to come back on and redo this process here because I think we sort of figured out the issue that we had. West Virginia Uncommon Place podcast popped up in here. I saw Bethany out there. So many other people which just popped in. And thank you so much for joining. Again, Twitter. You can check me out on YouTube at Laren Gaines. Also, TikTok as well. D Live Twitch. You can also get small clips of the show at Daily Motion. Now, if you would like to support the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines, please go ahead and click that link above all of my social media platforms, and you can go inside of Volume 1.5, The Liberation Remix Journal, a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you out there for joining and hanging out there with me tonight. And before we go ahead and get out of here, I want to see what we have here. My D Live family has popped up. Hello, Laren Gaines. Have a good trip to California. Thank you so much, Freedom for Alberta. I appreciate it. I always love when D Live family comes through, and thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate that. And yes, on that note, I will see you when I see you. But before we get out of here, think about The Last Savior, the book that Jolly Doty wrote. I most certainly cannot get out of here without giving thanks to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and give you Reading Between the Wines one more time in life. On that note, thank you so much. I got another comment. I appreciate you. Freedom for Alberta. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Actually, before you get out of here, if you can let me know where you're calling from. So, of course, I ask everybody when they come through, where are you calling from? Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from? Of course, this is the 411 we call people. So, of course, that's what I say. But drop it in the comments and let me know where you're calling from. Thank you so much. Take care. You have a wonderful evening.